Okay, great morning. Let's continue to go forward, and I'll do an open read here. I'm going to pick one from the Talisman Oracle as to the overview of this, and then we'll do the Lenormand and the She Tarot. I think it's called the She Tarot. Something of that nature. So let's see what the Talisman is. It's about having a blessed day. Blessed day. Okay. And we want everyone to have a blessed day. So, with that in mind, let's give these a ruffle shuffle and see what we have. The reading's about the Tower. Now, the Tower could be a number of things, but let's see what the She Tarot is with this. The Tower could be, standing strong. It could be a type of prison. It could be government. It could be, narcissism. A number of things that the Tower could be. It could also be a fortress, okay? A fortress or an ivory tower, But let's see what our Tarot is with it. The dance. The dance. Okay. So the Tower, the dance, the strength. I would say this is about the strength of the dance. Okay. To have yourself in this understanding about the strength of the dance, that things are always in the midst of flux, and to, again, understand that I just feel that dance like Nataraj, okay? That still point, coming into that still point, that tower, that strength, okay? Keep yourself in that dance and understand that everything is in flux. It's always in the midst of change. It's coming, it's going, it's birthing, it's going down. Okay, so stay in the dance of life. Find that still point within yourself to continue that dance. Okay, in the midst of it, and understand if you can find that still point within yourself, that it gives you that balance, and it is a tower, it is a place of strength, it is, I got a flower, fly, yeah, Mr. Fly, right on the camera, that was great. So anyway, that dance, that still point, can be a tower for you in a good way. It could be a place of strength. So next thing out is what's being cut, the energy of cutting, departures, okay, cutting things, departures. So maybe the cutting, maybe there are some things that you need to leave behind, or the cuts of some things just, again, some things come in and then some things go, okay? So, again, just having that strength and balance within yourself, and understand that this is the play of life. So what's happening today? Something new. So what's new? What's new is to scrutinize, okay? To look at things deeper as they're coming in. We have this, the endless knot of things. And this is what I want to say about Tantra, because Tantra is so misunderstood. In the West, they have these, thinking that Tantra is about sex. Sex sells, but it's nothing to do with Tantra, genuine Tantra. In the East, they think that Tantra is black magic. Okay, again, that's a perversion, and that's not genuine Tantra. Tantra means that which is woven together. The warp and the, what do you call it, the two different aspects of the weaving, things that are woven together. It's using all of the aspects of life to move forward in your spiritual journey. That's true Tantra. Nothing to do with sex, nothing to do with black magic. Genuine Tantra is using the elements in life to move forward. Again, the same things that I talk about: honesty, integrity, transparency, sacredness, and simplicity. Those things woven together in your daily experience. This is why I never made a formal ashram. Because, we have people, they go away and they want to go up in the Himalayas by themselves, but they come back into society and they can't live. Okay? Or you're in an ashram setting. You're in a manufactured setting. You have to do it. The spiritual path is about doing your daily life, navigating it, okay? To come to that balance, to come to that integrity in a daily setting, okay? So again, new things coming up, scrutinizing it, looking at, understanding things get cut, there are departures, new things coming in, and the tower, the strength is the dance, finding that ability to have that still center in the midst of the dance. So let's see what we have. The challenge is control, protection, control. Protection and control. Yeah, and that takes balance. Again, it's about coming to balance. That still point, that still center within. I call it 0 point balance. Coming into that knowledge of the divine is that's at the center of all things. Now, no matter what you're going through, at the very center point of your being is the divine is. And no matter what's happening, like I say, the only thing that can be touched is the physicality of form. But the divine is never touched by any of the things happening in this transient plane, okay? So having that balance and that understanding that the center point of your being is always whole and perfect as it is, okay? And so the only things that are being touched, that are being gone through, are the externals, the external things, okay? So control, protection, you always have that protection within of the divine is, okay? And you're balancing the other things that are going on in the universe, in your world. Again, navigating the dance, staying in a center point, staying in balance as you go through these things. So let's see, potential outcome is about the arguments, about things being swept away, the difficulties. Yeah, isolating, privilege, drama, okay? So it's about breaking through that, understanding that you don't need to have iron bars up there. You don't need to have a lot of wealth. You don't need to have those things. Those things are not necessarily going to bring comfort or balance. Okay? External things about an ending. Okay? The ending of something, the beginning of something else. The voyage, yeah. Because we are in the midst of this voyage. We are in the midst of this change. And understand that in order to have a blessed day, okay, that we go through this voyage to encounter these things, to learn these things, to experience them for yourself. Now, what's coming in again is about Adam and Eve. You know, when they were in the Garden of Eden, all they knew was good. They had no idea of what dark was, what lack was, what those things were. They were whole and complete as it is. They had full knowledge of God, you know, within them at that point. But what did they do? They wanted to have the experience, okay? So to have that experience, they had what was termed the fall into corporeal flesh, wanting knowledge. Okay? They didn't know they were naked. They didn't know anything at that point. Zero. Okay? But they wanted knowledge. They wanted experience. So they were put in a limited form to have these experiences, to learn, to understand what is dark from light, to understand this division. Okay? So that's it. You know, they had that fall, and in a limited body for a limited time to have experiences. Okay? And so, yeah, we are on the voyage. In the voyage, there will be many endings. Okay? Okay? They want to understand privilege and the arguments that it causes. Privilege, just being wealthy and having those things is not, you know, the arguments, okay? It's not a peaceful place. That's not what life is about. Gaining the most, you know, having the most Ferraris or the biggest designer bags or, you know, those things, okay? So finding out what's of value and what's not. Now, in the things that I put up the other day, you'll see one of the encounters was this guy that was very wealthy in life. He got to the other side and he had nothing. Okay? Again, that lesson about privilege. And he was stuck because he was on the other side and all his wealth and everything, of course, it doesn't go with him. So, you know, in life, he saw he was a very powerful being. He had all this wealth and this and that, and he got to the other side, and all of that was stripped away. And he was stuck, okay? So, again, you know, this is about finding out what's of value and what's not within your life. Continuing the dance. And understanding that you have that tower within you of the divine is, that still point center. That's what you want to go with. Come to that still point. It's like the, what do you call it? Can't remember the name of what it's called. But you have this expression where you see the at the center of all this thing is a dot, and then out from that comes all of this movement, and I can't think of what it's called. But it's showing the Shakti. The very center of it is still, okay, which would be what one terms as the Shiva or the ultimate 0 point balance, zero, okay, the stillness. It contains everything that will come into here, but it's still in nature. And then it comes out through the yoni, the Shakti, and you see these things all extending outward, okay? But it all stems from that still point, okay? And then you have the experience of the Shakti or the seen world, the transitory experience, the energetic flow, all the energetic interconnections of it, etc. But it all goes back to that single still point, okay? And the other explanation I want to show, it's like a light bulb, and you have a shade on it. The shade is the transitory experience. You have the one single light bulb. What happens when you put holes in the shade? They look like all individual lights, but they all come back to that one source, okay? That all comes back to that single source. The divine is. But again, the lampshade, the transitory thing, allows it to have all these different experiences, all of these different happenings, but it all comes back to the single source. So understand that no matter what we're going through, the only thing that is touched is the externals, okay? And coming to realization or enlightenment is coming to the stilled mind. All of these outside plays are happening because of the mind play, okay? The mind spin, the mind play, okay? Now, when I came into it, I've said this many times, I just wanted out of this world. I wanted nothing. I was in so much pain, depression, PTSD, flashbacks, all of these things were happening. I was in a miserable state when I started this spiritual path. But what I found out in the end, which was freedom from the mind spin, okay? The hamster wheel. Once you've stepped off of that and you're in that still place, that still center, then you realize that there's nothing wrong with this world. It's all experience, okay? It's all experience. And it's about what you are framing that experience in. What is the light that you're framing that in? Now, some of our darkest, deepest, most difficult times that we go through, we learn the most lessons from when we navigate through it and get to the other place, the other part. Now, if you are wanting to be a teacher, a spiritual teacher, you can't be a spiritual teacher unless you have gone through those hardships and you have a map on how to get out of it, okay? So those that want to be a spiritual teacher, you don't know what you're asking for because you will have the hardest path, because you have to find your way out. And so you have a map. You have something that you can give to others. You can't, this idea of being a wounded healer is BS. It's like the thing in the Bible, when you're walking and you have two blind men, you're going to fall in the ditch. You need to be able to see. You need to have been able to navigate through these things so that you can give a map to others as a way to go forward. So on that note, again, have a blessed day. Hopefully some of this will give you a little food for thought as you go through your own journeys, and we'll see you online.